Islam and Arman, I got Islam. Islam, I think, is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I think it's going to be kind of like the same. It's not going to be the same thing as the first fight, because that first fight was very close. I think Islam's going to show that there's levels to this, and I think he's grown way more than Arman.
I just believe that there's a reason why Islam is pound-for-pound #1. You know, and like I said, I see it in the gym day in, day out. You know, he is #1 for a reason. And, you know, come January 18th, he's going to show everybody why he is still pound-for-pound #1. He's just that good.
Ну четко, вот этот разрыв и надо делать, понимаешь? Вот у меня шлем нормальный, поэтому их надо добавлять.
Fans can't wait for the UFC 311 main event between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan, kicking off 2025's first pay-per-view event. This fight has everyone talking, from MMA fans to experts, with many predicting how it will go down. UFC Hall of Famer Mark Coleman didn't hold back when sharing his opinion. He called Islam a wrestling powerhouse, comparing him to Khabib Nurmagomedov, the former UFC champ. Coleman boldly claimed that Islam's unique fighting style and raw strength will be too much for Arman to handle, but not everyone agrees. Some argue that Arman's rapid improvement and all-around skills could make him the toughest challenge Islam has faced yet. Is Islam really unstoppable? Or is Arman about to shock the world? Let the debate begin.
I'm going to go with Islam. You know, he's right up there in the GOAT conversation. Pretty soon he'll be there if he keeps plugging away, but he's just fantastic, amazing. Reminds me a lot of
UFC Hall of Famer Randy Couture didn't hold back on his praise for Islam Makhachev, calling him the lightweight king at the very peak of his career. Couture confidently stated that it will be almost impossible for anyone to dethrone Islam right now. But here's where it gets interesting. Couture also acknowledged that Arman Tsarukyan isn't just another challenger. He's a dangerous opponent. According to the UFC legend, Arman has what it takes to give Islam a run for his money and make this fight an all-out war. Couture is hyped for UFC 311 on January 18th, promising fans an epic showdown. But the question is, will Islam prove his dominance again? Or will Arman pull off one of the biggest upsets in UFC history?
Islam is at the top of his game right now, so you better strap him on tight if you're stepping in with him right now. He's literally firing on all cylinders and at his peak right now. So I'm glad he's getting tough fights like that. That's going to be a real test, and it'll be interesting to see who goes out and imposes their will, because that's exactly what's going to.
The UFC 311 hype keeps getting hotter as opinions roll in. And flyweight contender Ode Osborne has thrown his full support behind his friend Arman Tsarukyan. Osborne didn't mince words when he said, "We need new faces in this division." He made it clear he's rooting for Arman to take down Islam Makhachev and usher in a new era in the UFC. Osborne gushed about Arman's fighting style, calling him a dog in the octagon and claiming his friend deserves the belt. But let's be real. This prediction feels more like loyalty than logic. Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira gave a more balanced take but still leaned towards Islam. The former champ praised both fighters for their incredible grappling skills but argued that Islam's striking is sharper and more refined. It's hard to argue, they're so similar. But on fight night, I think Islam edges it out, Oliveira said. Islam's biggest supporter, though, is none other than his coach, Javier Mendez, who didn't hold back in praising his pupil. Mendez boldly called Islam the strongest fighter in the game and credited his discipline and work ethic for his dominance. According to Mendez, Islam hasn't let success get to his head. He's still the humble guy Mendez met a decade ago, just with a championship belt now. So the debate is on. Will Arman prove Osborne right and shake up the division? Or will Islam show why he's considered untouchable? Fans are divided, but one thing's for sure. UFC 311 is shaping up to be explosive.
I'm sorry to say, but, you know, he's pound for pound #1 for a reason. And I firsthand see this guy on a daily basis dismantle everybody. You know, he is so well coached, so mentally focused, so disciplined that I can't say enough good things about how Islam is. And he's just getting better and better, you know, and he hasn't changed as a person. He's still that same humble, nice guy that I met in 2013 or 14. Still that same guy. Unbelievable technician, though. Unbelievable.
Javier Mendez, the mastermind behind Islam Makhachev's success, didn't hold back in praising the lightweight champ's drive to improve. According to the legendary coach, Islam is the toughest fighter in the division right now, and beating him is nearly impossible. Mendes confidently said, "If Islam sets his mind to something, it's happening. His ability isn't even in question." Mendes gave a glimpse into just how ruthless and deadly Islam can be in the gym, leaving no doubt about why he's at the top of the division. But in a surprising twist, the coach also showed respect for Arman Tsarukyan, calling his performance against Islam in their first fight back in 2019 impressive. Mendes admitted that Arman has earned this title shot with hard work and consistency, backed by a solid team that's helped shape his style. However, Mendes didn't sugarcoat his prediction. He's betting on Islam to come out on top. "Arman is good, but Islam is better," he essentially declared. That said, the coach is hyped to see what's shaping up to be one of the most thrilling fights in UFC 311. So the real question remains, is Arman ready to dethrone the king, or will Islam prove once again why he's untouchable? The stage is set and the stakes couldn't be higher.
So I didn't get to watch it, but I heard that Arman did fantastic and he escaped, a choke at the end there. But,
Right.
he proved that he's the number one guy. He proved he belongs where he needs to be. Arman's coming out this with the right mental attitude. He's got the right coaching staff behind him. And I'm expecting a fantastic...
Javier Mendes might be confident that Islam Makhachev will keep his belt, but fans are holding out hope that Arman Tsarukyan can deliver a shocker. With UFC 311 just around the corner, the tension is heating up. Even UFC star Gilbert Burns couldn't stay silent about the fight. Burns believes Arman has a solid chance, but ultimately leans toward Islam, taking the win and defending his lightweight title once again. According to Burns, Islam's dominance and the weight of Khabib's legacy make it nearly impossible for Arman to come out on top. Arman will need to do something truly extraordinary to pull off a miracle, Burns said. In a now-deleted post, he wrote, "Who do you have for the first PPV of the year? Arman has a chance, but Islam and Umar are my picks. But don't count Arman out just yet." The Armenian fighter is all in, treating this fight as his one shot to make history. Arman knows that no Armenian has ever come this close to winning a UFC title, and he's determined not to let this opportunity slip away. "I've waited for this my whole career," Arman said. "This isn't just a fight with Islam, it's a fight for the title and my country. No Armenian has ever had this chance, especially against someone like Islam, who's the pound-for-pound best." Arman is sacrificing everything, money, time, and his body, to ensure he's ready for January 18th. Reflecting on his journey, Arman acknowledged how far he's come since first fighting Islam 5 years ago. He's faced tougher opponents and sharpened his skills, which is why he believes he's earned this title shot. But let's be real, can Arman overcome the odds and dethrone the champ? Or is Islam just too dominant, too experienced, and too untouchable? The fans are divided, the stakes are sky high, and UFC 311 is set to deliver fireworks.
Мы подрались 5 лет назад. Так, время быстро пройдет, что я не верю, что я провел после него 10 боев и стал номером 1. Я не представлял, что я там буду в топах и так далее. И даже буду драться на титул UFC.
Arman Tsarukyan is leaving no stone unturned in his quest for the title, deciding to train in the brutal conditions of Mount Elbrus, Russia. Born and raised in the highlands, Arman knows these extreme altitudes will prepare him to be in the best shape possible for his title shot against Islam Makhachev. Arman is taking no chances. He's determined to be in peak condition for UFC 311, ready to face off against the reigning champ. Meanwhile, Islam Makhachev is also pushing himself to the limit, determined to keep his winning streak alive and defend his lightweight title for the 4th time. The hype surrounding this fight is real, and both fighters are making serious preparations. Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has praised Arman for his skills, but remains completely confident in Islam's ability to retain the title. Ali's message is clear. Arman is talented, but he's not ready to take Islam's crown. Abdelaziz believes Islam is in the best form of his career, and he's brushing off any criticism. He's focused, relentless, and doing everything to stay ahead of the competition. Abdelaziz even acknowledged Arman's potential for success in the future, but he firmly believes no one in their weight class, not even Arman, is ready to dethrone Islam Makhachev. The question is, can Arman defy the odds, or is Islam just too dominant to be taken down? The tension keeps building, and UFC 311 is going to be a fight you won't want to miss.
First fight, I'm not gonna make excuse for him. Arman is an absolutely beast. He's very tough, but I think Arman will be a champion, but I don't think it's now. It's not his time. He's young. I don't think any man from 155 pounds to 185 pounds can beat Islam Makhachev. It doesn't exist. I believe 155, 170, 185, I think Islam can beat anybody on any given day.
Joshua Van is also eagerly awaiting this fight because he believes it will be a battle for the ages between two of the division's best. Van, a UFC flyweight fighter, thinks this matchup is too close to call, labeling it a 50-50 fight. Both Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev are serious contenders, and Van believes both will fight with everything they've got to win. Arman has proven himself as a real threat to the lightweight title, and Islam has been on a roll, dominating his opponents. Van said, "This is going to be a fantastic fight. It's 50-50, and with the kind of hype building around UFC 311, fans are expecting this to be one of the best fights of the year." Van points out how Islam keeps improving with each fight, and Arman also showed impressive skill in his last fight against Oliveira. But the tension is only growing. As the stakes rise, both fighters will feel the pressure. Alex Hernandez, another MMA athlete, is just as hyped for the matchup but has already made his pick. Hernandez expects Islam to retain his title, saying that while both Islam and Arman are excellent fighters, he doesn't think Arman has what it takes to take Islam down. Hernandez believes that there are few fighters in the division who can match Islam's skill level, and beating him isn't going to be easy. Despite Arman's skills and drive, Hernandez doesn't see him dethroning the Dagestani champion anytime soon. This just adds fuel to the fire and has fans questioning whether Arman can actually do the impossible at UFC 311.
I'm going to lean towards the champ, Islam, but yeah, Arman's a f***er to beat, so he's got his work cut out for him. If Arman doesn't do it, who I think would be among the most competitive, yeah, I don't really see who beats him, right? Yeah, like who else? Yeah, I think that's why it's such an exciting fight, because they're kind of similar in their versatility, but I think Islam's continue to improve all around and on his feet, and tactically they've got a real brilliant team. Yeah, and so it's hard to see. It's hard to see.
Fans are buzzing with excitement for the highly anticipated showdown between Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev, two of the most talented fighters in the UFC today. One's fighting to protect his legacy, while the other is desperate to carve out his own. The fight is just around the corner, and the question on everyone's mind is, who will come out on top? Will Islam continue his reign, or is Arman ready to steal the spotlight? We want to hear from you. What do you think will happen at UFC 311 between these two? Drop your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. That's all for today's video, but don't go anywhere. We've got even more exciting content coming your way. Be sure to hit that bell and subscribe so you never miss out on our latest updates.